Hello students, welcome to AKS IAS. In this video lecture, we will be discussing about the tourism industry in India and how the growth potential of this industry has to be tapped. So, this series is based on a newspaper article that appeared in the Hindustan Times that stated, for tourism, there is Incredible India 2.0 plan. So, this article talks about the challenges and the steps to be taken for the promotion of India's tourism sector. So, to start off with, you all know that the economy runs on four wheels. What are the four wheels? They are demand, supply, capital, and labor. However, the COVID 19 pandemic has impacted both the demand supply as well as the capital availability and left the labor facing the issue of unemployment. So, author here states that the COVID 19 pandemic has affected all the four wheels of an economy. That's what you call as the factors of production. Though the pandemic has affected every sector of the Indian economy, perhaps travel, tourism, and hospitality sectors have been the most affected. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, this is an international organization, nearly 42 million jobs in the tourism sector and hospitality sector will be at risk in India due to the COVID 19 pandemic and the aftermath. However, given the vital importance of tourism industry in the Indian economy, there is a need to address the underlying challenges and adopt a suitable policy for the overall growth of the economy. Now let us look into what is the importance of tourism sector per se for the Indian economy. What are the broad contours on which tourism sector supports Indian economy? Number one, employment generation. As you all know, travel, tourism, and hospitality can exponentially create jobs, which is important for India's demographic dividend as 72% of Indian population is below 32 years of age with an average age of 29. So, please remember that. So, as to tap the optimum potential and to enrich India's economic and socio-cultural capabilities, there is a need to tap this demographic dividend, and thus employment generation is of utmost importance. And the author here states that tourism, travel, and hospitality sector contribute to creating jobs in a more meaningful way. Number two, travel and tourism account for approximately 8.1% of the total employment opportunities. So, these facts and figures are especially important for you while writing your answers, and this could be very much important in your essay paper as well. Okay, in the year 2019, it contributed to 9.3% of India's GDP. Okay, travel and tourism accounted for 9.3% of the India's GDP and received 5.9% of the total investments in the Indian economy. The next important point is multiplier effect. So let us look into how tourism sector will have a multiplier effect on the economy. An added aspect of the travel and tourism sector is that it not only does the sector provide high quality jobs, it also enhances an investment in India, accelerates development, okay, as well as showcases India's unique treasures, acting as a tool for soft diplomacy. So please remember these key points. That is, as a multiplier effect, tourism sector enhances soft diplomacy, enhances development, and also increases investment and provides high quality jobs in India. What are the potential areas of tourism in India? India offers an amazing diversity in tourism, ranging from 38 UNESCO World Heritage Sites to the different physiographic features to medical and wildlife tourism. Also note that India is ranked third, up, behind USA and China in the World Travel and Tourism Council, that is WTTC. This is an organization which gives travel and tourism power ranking. So, in this ranking, which was provided in the year 2019, India is given a global rank of 3. That gives you the importance of travel and tourism India has and the potential that India has in this sector at the global level. So, here we will try to know about what is this Travel and Tourism Council, WTTC. So, this Travel and Tourism Council gives travel and tourism power ranking. What is this about? This assesses nearly 185 countries on the basis of four key sector ingredients. As we already discussed that India is ranked third in this WTTC's power ranking. There are four key sectors on which it focuses. So, the ranking is based on total travel and tourism GDP to the country, foreign investor spending, that is, when a foreigner visits India or any other country, what is the spending that they are doing, then the domestic spending, and the travel and tourism capital investment. So, what is a capital investment that a country is providing for travel and tourism sector? So these are the parameters on which this power ranking of WTTC is given to various countries. So what are the underneathing challenges of India's tourism sector? Now let us discuss what are the challenges that plague India's tourism sector. Number 1, entry and exit issue. Despite the introduction of an e-visa facility, visitors find the process of applying for visas still cumbersome. So, when a foreigner is traveling to India, he's supposed to get a visa. So, this process of getting this visa is cumbersome, is what the author states. So, also, if you note, already the process seems to be cumbersome, and this process could be further made complicated after the COVID era. Next important point is infrastructure and connectivity. What is this about? The deficiencies in infrastructure and inadequate connectivity hamper the tourist's visit to some heritage sites. So, as you know, in India, India has rich cultural and you know cultural heritage and local heritage, but lot of these sites are inaccessible or there is poor connectivity because these sites of heritage of utmost socio-economic and cultural heritage are in rural hinterland or in areas where there is no proper connectivity. So that could also be one of the inhibiting factor. For example, many tourist destinations like Kanchenjunga are still not accessible for tourists. Next important point is tourism segments or circuits. What is this about? India has various tourist destinations but have very few circuits. Also, many announced tourist circuits. The government of India has announced many tourist circuits. However, they are yet to be implemented on the ground. So, on the paper, they have announced that there are certain tourist circuits which are to be provided dedicated focus, but in reality, that has not happened on the ground. Next is regarding promotion and marketing. What is this about? Although marketing related to India's tourism has been increasing, still online marketing and branding remains limited and campaigns are not coordinated. Also note that tourist information centers are poorly managed and making it difficult for the domestic as well as foreign tourists to access information with ease. The next important point, which is plaguing India's tourism sector, is the skill deficit. This is one of the most important point. The number of adequately trained individuals for tourism and hospitality sector is a key challenge to giving visitors a world-class experience because a limited number of multilingual trained guides and the limited local awareness and understanding of the benefits and responsibilities of associated with the tourism industry act as constraints on the sector's growth. See, there is very limited skilled manpower in India, even though the manpower which is available, they are poorly aware, they do not have proper responsibility, and they do not understand the importance of the tourism sector, is what the author is trying to mention. So, what could be the possible steps that could be taken by the government and the private sector to improve the situation of tourism in India? The Prime Minister of India emphasized that making India a global hub for tourism is very important, urging that each citizen to visit 15 tourist destinations in India by the year 2022. However, in this pursuit, there should be certain important steps that have to be taken. Number one is to focus inward. What is this? A campaign focusing on domestic tourism that showcases what the nation offers to Indians could be the post pandemic plan for the sector. Because after this coronavirus pandemic issue, a lot of tourists who come from foreign countries might not visit India, or they might postpone their visit. So as to provide an impetus to India's tourism sector, now is the time for the government to focus on domestic tourism. Okay. Next, improving the transportation infrastructure. The UDAN scheme, which has been a huge success, and now the government can focus on the earlier plans of launching 100 tourism oriented trains so as to provide an impetus to the tourism sector. Next, also the ease of access can be improved by faster implementation of the Bharatmala and the Sagarmala projects. Further, the Holistic Island Developmental Plan, what is this? Which focuses on Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands, will automatically create jobs for the islanders and enhance the connectivity through key infrastructure projects. Then another important point is the preservation of heritage. Conservation and development of all heritage sites should be undertaken and completed either through government funding or through various NGOs and corporate social responsibility activities, so that this tourist destinations will draw in more crowds and ultimately lead to the growth of the sector. Also, the Ministry of Tourism's Swadesh Darshan and the National Mission on Pilgrimage, Rejuvenation and Spiritual Heritage or Augmentation Drive, that is the Prasad scheme, are already undertaking the development and maintenance of heritage sites. However, they should be complemented by more government funding and private sector as well as NGO efforts. The number of projects sanctioned under the scheme, that is the Prasad scheme, should be increased and their implementation should be accelerated. Next important focus area is on skill development. There's a need to connect the local community to tourism by encouraging them to set up small enterprises to supply tourism industry, that is accommodation, food and material should be supplied from the local small enterprises. By this, employment opportunities can be expanded by ensuring that investors and operators in the organized sector are encouraged to hire staff locally. This will give a boost to ecotourism. Okay. Next important focus area should be on leveraging technology. Moving forward, technology can play a significant role in creating minimum physical touch points in the hotels, which is very much required for safe and hygienic tourism. So, the author concludes by saying that the central government's campaigns like Incredible India and the state government's campaigns of various states like God's own country, or the various initiatives taken by the Telangana government or the Andhra Pradesh Sunrise state, blended with India's tourism potential with awareness. This allowed Indian entrepreneurs, global entities, domestic and foreign tourists, and the government machinery to work together and accelerate growth in the sector, thus carrying forward the success story of these programs. There is a need to launch Incredible India 2.0 as a revamped and more robust program targeting and improving the overall growth potential of the tourism sector. So, in this infograph, you could see what could be the major advantage to India from tourism sector, that is robust demand, attractive opportunities, diverse attractions, policy support. Okay, so this could be some of the potential that India has to tap regarding the tourist sector. So here you have some data mentioned. By the year 2020, medical tourism in India is expected to touch US dollars 9 billions. During 2018, 10.5 million foreign tourists arrived in India. So this information explains to us that there is definitely a demand for tourism opportunities in India. Also, international tourist arrivals are expected to reach 30.5 million by the year 2028. So, what could be the attractive opportunities for tourism sector? India has diverse portfolio of niche tourism such as cruises, adventure, medical, wellness sports, MICE, ecotourism, film, and rural religious tourism. So these are the niche products of tourism that India is offering, and that gives an attractive opportunity for the various industry, and that is domestic as well as foreign investors to invest in the tourism sector in India. In January 2017, FICCI announced that launch of India Travel Tech Launchpad. Next is regarding the diverse attractions. India offers geographical diversity, attractive beaches, and 30 World Heritage Sites and 25 biogeographic zones. The country's big coastline is dotted with a number of attractive beaches. So, what is the policy support that is being provided to the tourism sector? To the tourism sector, a 5-year tax holiday has been offered for 2, 3, and 4-star category hotels located around the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, except in the cities of Delhi and Mumbai. Under the Swadesh Darshan scheme, 15 thematic circuits in the country have been selected for development of tourism infrastructure. Also, e-visa facility is offered to 166 country as of December 2018 in India. So these are the various advantages that the government is providing to the tourism industry in India. So this should impel investments into the tourism sector. Okay. So now let us discuss what a mains question regarding the tourism sector, where you can try to practice an answer for this question by the information that we discussed, and also you can try to read about the tourism sector in India, the various schemes that have been existent in India regarding the enhancement of tourism sector from the various sources like internet and likewise. So the practice question for you is: the tourism industry is very important sector of the Indian economy. In the light of the statement, discuss the need for a suitable policy for the overall growth of the tourism sector. So, to answer this question, you have to try to first introduce how tourism sector plays an important role, or what is the potential that it could have for the overall economic development. Those points you would be mentioned, and then in the next part of the answer you would be mentioning about what should be the policy initiatives which are existing, and what could be the possible improvements of the various policy initiatives and schemes to improve the growth of the tourism sector. Thank you.